This is the zip ding, and I would like to show you something about what I've been working on for the past 3.5 years or so. If you've seen my older videos, you would know that yes, I play Warhammer, and the army that I play is orcs. But I I really enjoy painting it, and unfortunately I lose a lot. But the fact is, my army looks pretty. That's about it. And I show you the progress that I've actually made over the 3 years that I have painting, and how much I've actually learned and gotten better at. So this here, this is the very first model I have painted. Zoom in. As you can tell, it's decent quality tabletop. That's about it. I am gonna get around to actually repainting the body because that way actually fits in the mob he's in, which is these guys. These guys turned out quite badly because one, I didn't have the paints I needed, and I decided to go ahead and paint them anyway. So all these are probably the worst painted units in my army. Some people may differ, the group I'm with, saying, oh yeah, these guys are really good, and then they see my later works and realize, hey wait, those guys are crappy. Pardon my language to any people who are young who are watching this. I got, first off, a set of 16 boys with the old orc codex. I have it around here somewhere, but I don't really want to grab it. And the next kit I actually got was Gazgul Thraka. Now, if you've seen my last series of videos, you would know that he had green armor, a blue Shuda, yellow power claw, and all in all, it was really bad, and the paint was chipping off and all this stuff. So I decided to repaint him. I'll show you that later because I just finished repainting him a couple months ago or so. Anyway, the next unit I got after this was a set of Ludas and Burnas. As you can see, that is a nice large jump in quality between the Ludas and my last group. So as you can tell, much better quality already. And I got these guys pretty much right after the new codex came out, looking for the shock attack gun, but unfortunately the store I went to didn't have them in stock, so I got these guys instead, and used a technique that I learned from the January issue of White Dwarf. If you don't have that one, it's the one right as the orcs were released. So, as you can tell, obviously, you get that one if you're an orc player. It also has a battle report, orcs versus ultramarines. Orcs win. After that, I got some tank bustas, in which the painting job really didn't turn out all that well. The skin looks nice and all, but that's about it. The black cloth I put on them is the only thing that actually stayed put, and honestly, I'm willing to replace these guys because I don't think they're really painted all that well. And I really don't want to use them. After I got the tank bustas, I got some more orcs. These guys, I painted a blood axe scheme. So, that's some more guys right now. And all in all, not too badly painted. It could be better. But then again, I also didn't have as many paints as I did then. If you look at the pants there, you can tell some of the detail is fading a bit. It just kind of looks like one flat color, but there's, I think, 3 in there. Yeah. Then I got what pretty much any orc player needs, which is the Orc Battle Force. And I also got a couple of new paints there as well. Gnarlock Green, Orchide Shade, a couple other ones like that. And continued using some of the techniques I learned from that White Dwarf magazine. And so, I painted the skin using the same techniques that I showed there, and didn't turn out all that badly, actually. The teeth easily could be worked on, but oh well. This is getting pretty good now, in my opinion. Some of you may differ, but overall I think he's painted quite well. In there you get 20 boys, 3 bikers, and a truck, and here's my biker knob. Before I got more stuff for my army, I regarded this guy as my best painted unit in my army. And you might be able to see why, mainly because a lot of the stuff here when I was painting just turned out right. Now there are a couple of things where I didn't get around to painting, yes I know that, but he still looks awesome. After that I painted more guys for the first mob of 16 I got, and added in 2 big shooters there, so I have 24 boys in that mob. finally, to finish off the battle force, I painted the orc truck. So this being the first vehicle I actually painted, it didn't turn out all that badly, actually, in my opinion. Just, there's a lot of stuff that could be improved, yes, and again, I think that one turned out quite well. Then, Christmas 2009, I got Boss Snickrod, who many of you have seen the tutorial of how I painted him. Check it out on the Mini Wargaming site. Snickrod Work in Progress and Finished. I also got some Storm Boys. These guys are a work in progress right now, almost finished, but I will get around to finish these guys eventually. Overall, I think these guys are painted quite well. I got a couple of the tips I got for the medals here was what I got from the Mini Wargaming stuff there. And around May of actually 2010, I've been getting most of my stuff here in 2010. I got the Assault on Blackreach, in which I finished off that mob of evil sons that I showed, the one unit I showed earlier, and tried out a couple of new things. This is where I got Devlin Mud, which, as many of you have probably seen, is liquid talent. I agree with whoever says that, because that's the medal with Devlin Mud Wash. So I finished off that mob, and I also added one more onto my Death Skulls mob. Well, not Death Skulls, Blood Axe mob. And overall, I think this turned out quite well. Unfortunately, at the time, I only had enough paints for only 2 camel schemes, Woodland and Red Urban. That will soon be solved when I get more. And also, as you know, in Assault on Blackreach, you get some knobs. So this is one of the knobs from the set. And at the same time, I got the Knob Squad. So this is the one with the Combi Shooter Scorcha, which is pretty much a must if you want to run a Knob Squad. And the Grot Ammo Run. At the end of I'm still painting up my Deathcopters from Assault on Blackreach, but here's the first war boss I got. Again, he's actually quite well painted. I didn't use the head you're supposed to use for it. And I painted this guy Snakebites, which means that the only clan I don't have at this point is Bad Moons. So overall, I have nice variety. I'm still building up my WOG, so I'm getting on there. And then I got a nice good chunk amount from a friend, which included some commandos. These guys are a work in progress. This is the guy who's closest to finishing. As you can see, I got some more paint at the time, some grays, and that green color is, I believe, from just 3 colors. Yeah, it's Goblin Green, Narlock Green, and I believe Skull White. So that turned out quite well. The camo here is just Fortress Gray, Codex Gray, and Chaos Black. The pants are Chaos Black, Red Gore, Scorched Brown, and Graveyard Earth. So this guy is the closest one to finishing. This is the one where I decided to use Thraka Green for the skin instead. And unfortunately, I think that paint hates me. So I'm kind of not using it for a while. I've used it like 3 times and spilled it twice. Also in that batch that I got from my friend, it was a Big Mac with custom force field. So this is the time where I got Burnished Gold and Macarite Red. So I got some nice fun new paints there to work with. Overall, this guy's painted really well. I'm saying that these guys are painted really well in the later ones for sure. And at the same time, I painted up this war boss. Again, with the Blood Axe scheme. This guy is also painted quite well. I tend to use this guy more than I use my Snakebite boss. And this guy just has a couple of different camo schemes. If you're wondering about what I did with the base there, it's just Graveyard Earth paint, some actual sand, some canary bedding, and yellow flocking that you can just get at a hobby store. That was it. Then I finally got around to finishing what I started working on like the beginning of the year, which was a custom-built truck. This is built from a Scout Rig set. You can get that at Scout Shop, pretty much anywhere. I don't know where you live where you can find it, but I know I can find mine within half an hour of where I live. Yep. So you can see the orc crew there. Again, I didn't spend a whole lot of time painting these guys as I did the other ones, because there's actually not a whole lot of detail to paint on them. Again, I gave this guy the backpack that you get from the Luda Burner set. And the way I cut it is I just use a scroll saw. So, and the best thing about it is the fact that it actually moves, it rolls. So, it took quite a bit of paint, quite a bit of time. The decals I painted on were by hand. So, if you're wondering how to do that, just make sure you have a steady hand, some Chaos Black, Skull White, and Fortress Gray. That's all I used. And then I painted on my first Deathcopter. Again, he has quite a bit, he's quite silvery. And I think I might have to rewash him, mainly because you can't really see the wash on it. But he's not all that bad. He was my first Deathcopter. Not too badly. I then got another War Boss. This one I actually bought not too long ago. And painted him up Death Skulls and the attack squig and all. This guy is actually painted quite well in my opinion. Some of you, again, may differ, but that's just what I believe in. This guy's painted quite well. Now, probably the best painted unit in my army is here, Gazgul Thraka. And much needed repainting there. And just take your time with special characters or HQ units or anything that you may deem a centerpiece, which for me are my HQs. And take your time on them. That's the only thing I can say about take your time. And then my second Deathcopter. So, again, painted quite well. Much different than the other one. Instead of painting the entire dashboard, whatever the heck this is, silver, I decided to leave it black and then just dry brush on mithril silver. And as you can see, it worked quite well. Same with the propeller blades. I left more stuff unpainted this time just so I could go over with the dry brush, like the control panel right there. And the gas tank, I dry brushed that mithril silver. So, overall, that's everything I have painted completely. I've also painted up some Lizardmen and some Imperial Guard, along with some Space Marines. I've got a looted wagon kicking around here that I still need to paint up. I'm just gonna kind of wait until I get more paint and a bigger brush. But all in all, I think that's it. I don't have a whole lot that's left in work in progress, just the Commandos and the Storm Boys. But that's pretty much it. That's the army that I have painted. I've also got, the only Space Marines I have are the stuff you get from the 2 starter sets that I've got, Battle for McCraig and Assault on Blackreach. If you want to start up Warhammer 40k, grab those, because you get the models in there for bargain, plus the rulebook and all that stuff. So, if you are starting any of those hobbies, grab the starter kit. Well worth your money. And if you decide to collect one of the armies and not the other, you can trade it out to someone who does collect that army. So all in all, I still have a bunch of Deathcopters that I actually still need to paint still. So I've got like 7 more in there that need to be painted, because the friend that I got all the stuff for, he and I are breaking it even at 9 Deathcopters each. So that's it. That's everything I have painted. So if you want a nice looking army, the best hint I can give you is just take your time. Nothing better than that. Just take your time. I shall see you at some point, hopefully with more battle reports in the future. And that's it.